The silence was a thick curtain, the kind that muffles secrets. John stepped inside, the click of his keys on the granite countertop slicing through the quiet of their Upper West Side brownstone. He was early, a rare treat, driven by the idea of surprising Sarah with a home-cooked meal. 20 years in, and he still believed in the work of love. But as he crossed the living room, a murmur stopped him cold. Voices, laughter, soft and familiar, drifted from the back patio. Sarah. He knew that light, melodic sound anywhere. Curiosity, sharp and sudden, pulled him forward. Cautious steps took him closer. Another voice joined hers, deeper, teasing, with an edge John couldn't place. "Mike, seriously?" Mike's voice laced with sarcasm. "He hands you everything, doesn't he? Apartment, kids, even me." John frowned, a knot tightening in his gut. The words hung heavy, drawing him towards the patio door like a magnet. Each word sharpened as he got closer, hitting with cold clarity. Sarah's laugh, carefree and unguarded, rang out. "I know, right? It's almost too easy. He suspects nothing, blind as a bat." Mike chuckled, smugness dripping in his tone. 17 years and still clueless. Sometimes I wonder if he even cares." John's chest constricted, his heart hammering. 17 years? What was that supposed to mean? Sarah swirled her wine, a faint smile playing on her lips. "That's because he's too trusting. Always has been. Made everything so simple." Her words struck like ice. John gripped the doorframe, legs suddenly weak. Mike chuckled again, setting down his glass. "The guy actually thinks both kids are his. Can you believe it?" John's stomach lurched, nausea rising. His children? A piercing ache shot through him. Sarah's smile widened, chillingly. "He's been a decent placeholder, I'll give him that. But he was never the one, you know? Too soft, too naive. That's why I've always needed you." John's world tilted as the betrayal solidified. Instinct screamed for him to burst through the door, but his body stayed rooted, hands clenched, nails digging into his palms. Mike leaned in, thoughtful now. "Ever thought about telling him the truth? I mean, at this point, what difference would it make? Kids are older. He'll figure it out eventually." Sarah shook her head dismissively. "Why would I? Even if he found out, what could he do? Leave? Please. His whole life revolves around me, the kids, his Wall Street job. He's got nothing else." Mike laughed, a low, cruel sound. "Cold, even for you." "Practical," Sarah corrected, shrugging. "I've tolerated his weaknesses for years. Least he can do is keep playing his part. Works for everyone." John's vision blurred, rage surging. He'd trusted them both, opened his home to Mike, shared his life with Sarah. And this is what it meant. How little they valued him, how methodically they'd manipulated him. His marriage, his family, a carefully crafted lie. Mike took a slow sip of wine. "Still, you gotta admire the dedication. 17 years is a long con." Sarah chuckled. "Exactly, and that's the best part. He never doubts me, believes every word." John couldn't listen anymore. The weight of their words threatened to crush him. He turned from the patio, breath shallow, stumbling toward the front door, each step heavier than the last, pain and fury growing. This wasn't just betrayal. It was calculated cruelty. Outside, the New York night air was sharp, a stark contrast to the warm betrayal inside. Their laughter echoed faintly behind him as he walked to his car. 17 years. They'd made him a fool. That ended tonight. By the car, John gripped the door handle, jaw set, knuckles white. Sliding into the driver's seat, he exhaled a shaky breath. "They think I'm stuck," he whispered, voice cold, steady. "They have no idea what's coming." As he drove away, the brownstone, the life he thought he knew, vanished into the darkness. The illusion of 17 years shattered like glass. 17 years earlier, John sat hunched over the sticky bar at O'Malley's pub, nursing a beer. Long week, soul-crushing work. He wasn't in the mood for company, but the guy who slid onto the stool next to him didn't seem to notice. "You look like someone just kicked your dog," the stranger said, grinning, raising his glass. Casual salute. John couldn't help a small smile. "Rough week, just work stuff." The man clinked his glass against John's. "Free advice? Stop overthinking it. It's Friday. Forget work. Life's too short." For the first time in days, a genuine smile touched John's face. "John," he said, extending a hand. "I'm John." "Mike," the other man responded, solid handshake, simple exchange, beginning of a bond. Mike turned out to be the loyal, witty, steadfast friend John had always craved. Friendship blossomed over shared love of the Giants, late-night poker, mutual boss rants. One evening at O'Malley's, John saw her. Sarah. She walked in, calm command presence, room turned heads. "Wow," Mike murmured, nudging John. "That's someone." John laughed nervously. "She's beautiful." "Don't just sit there," Mike urged, motioning towards her. "Go talk." John hesitated, nerves tightening. Mike gave him a playful shove. "Worst case, she says no." Heart pounding, John approached Sarah, standing at the bar, chatting with a friend. She turned as he neared, expression open, friendly. "Hi," John managed, scratching his neck. "Can I buy you a drink?" She studied him, soft smile, then nodded. "Sure." Conversation flowed that night, easy, deep. John, uneventful office job, classic rock. Sarah, teacher, dreams of backpacking Europe. By evening's end, John was captivated. As their relationship deepened, Sarah blended seamlessly into John's life. Mike, integral part of their circle. Dynamic trio. Sarah enjoyed Mike's quick wit. Mike teased John about his luck. "Jackpot, my friend," Mike said at a backyard BBQ in Queens. "I know," John replied, flipping burgers. "Still can't believe my luck." John introduced Sarah to his parents. Instant charm. His mother, Barbara, hugged her warmly. "John's told us so much. You're even more wonderful than we imagined." Sarah blushed. "That's very kind." His father, Edward, couldn't resist a joke. "So, when's the wedding?" Laughter. Year later, John and Sarah exchanged vows, intimate ceremony. Mike, best man, proudly by John's side. "She's a treasure," Mike told John before the ceremony. "Don't screw this up." John glanced at Sarah across the room, heart swelling. "I won't." Honeymoon, dream, early marriage, joy, cozy apartment in Queens. Soon, life-changing news. "You're going to be a dad," Sarah announced, positive pregnancy test. John enveloped her in a joyful hug. "This is amazing." Mike, first to hear, champagne next day. "To the future parents," he toasted. Daughter, Lily, born. Mike cradled her, proud uncle. "She's perfect," he whispered. 2 years later, son, Alex, Mike again, joking about John's responsibilities. 2 under 3? You're officially braver than me. John felt life was perfect. Wonderful wife, beautiful children, best friend, family. But cracks formed, ignored at first. Evening, John found Sarah and Mike laughing in the kitchen, heads close. "What's so funny?" John asked, smiling. "Oh, nothing much," Sarah said quickly, stepping away from Mike. Another time, Mike canceled plans with John. John found out he'd been at their apartment, helping Sarah fix leaky faucet. "Why didn't you call me?" John asked Sarah later. "Didn't want to bother you," she replied. "Mike was already here." John dismissed moments, trusting implicitly. But everything unraveled one fateful evening. Car, replaying fragments, fleeting moments. Doubt stained them all. Hands clenched steering wheel, mind churned. Every laugh, casual touch, excuse. Now pieces of betrayal. Frustration boiled. Fists slammed wheel. Horn blared. Night silence shattered. "How could I not see this?" he muttered bitterly. Cherished memories, now tarnished. Mike's late nights, Sarah and Mike's inside jokes, uneasy glances his parents exchanged around Mike. "They all knew," John whispered, realization hitting hard. Glove compartment, old family photo, Alex's first birthday. Sarah held Alex, Mike close, hand on her shoulder, John slightly apart, smiling, blissfully unaware. Vision blurred, stared at image. "Every single one of you," he said through gritted teeth, crumpling photo, throwing it aside. Back home, John alone at dining table, faint lamp glow, photos, receipts, memories, piecing together truth. Deliberate pace, anger simmering. One photo froze him. Snapshot of Mike cradling Lily, infant. Resemblance undeniable. Intense dark eyes, sharp nose. John's jaw clenched. "How did I miss this?" He flipped more photos, chest tightening. Mike's presence inescapable. Smiling with kids, playing games, holding them. Scene after scene, clear. Mike more present in children's lives than John and Sarah. Memories flooded back, sharp, stinging. Late nights, work, weekends, girls' trips. Subtle way she pulled away from his touch, yet lit up when Mike entered. John's voice, bitter, trembling. 17 years, he muttered. 17 years wasted. Abruptly, he shot to his feet, chair screeching. Sitting still, impossible. He needed to move, do something. Bedroom, yanking small safe from under bed. Inside, key pieces of life. Financial documents, apartment deed, will, everything to Sarah and kids. Stared at pile, thoughts twisting into resolve. "They think I'm trapped," he said aloud, voice hardening. "They think I'll just take it." Pulled out papers, tossed them onto bed, chaotic heap. Decision solidifying. Grabbed laptop, researched divorce attorneys, real estate agents, financial strategies. John wasn't just leaving, dismantling life they'd built off his sacrifice. Next morning, called boss, feigned weariness. "Need a sick day." Not illness, need to reclaim control. First stop, bank. Across from manager, expression calm, anger burning. "Close all joint accounts with my wife." Manager hesitated, eyebrows raised. "Significant decision. Are you sure?" "Completely," John replied, voice firm. Minutes, Joint accounts drained, funds transferred, account only he could access. Next, real estate agent. Need to sell my apartment. Agent taken aback. How soon? Immediately, he said. Afternoon, John back home. Morning chaos, sense of purpose, sliver of control. Dining table, pen, began writing letter. Each word, cold, unfiltered fury. You built a life on lies. You mocked my trust, my love, my loyalty. I hope it was worth it, because everything you've built is about to collapse. Sealed note, envelope, addressed to Sarah. Evening, John bedroom, shared with her decade. Eyes swept familiar space, framed photos, bed, once sanctuary, now reminder of betrayal. Grabbed suitcase, packing clothes, toiletries, laptop. New start essentials, zipped suitcase, gaze wedding photo, dresser. Picked it up, detached coldness, tossed it trash. Front door, suitcase, last look around apartment, 17 years backdrop. Raised children, trusted wife, built dreams. Now, hollow shell, painful memories. Locked door, muttered, They think I'm broken. They think I'll stay down. Sliding into car, started engine, roar drowning storm in mind. They have no idea what's coming. Next day, John watched real estate agent hammer for sale sign lawn. Agent glanced, uncertain. Sure you want to move this quickly? No rush? No reason to wait, he said, unyielding. Listed immediately. Inside, John mechanical precision. Dining table, documents strewn, financial records, deeds, legal plans. Laptop, cold glow illuminated face, logged into shared account. Balance stared back. $335,000. Without hesitation, emptied it, transferred funds, private account. Confirmation email pinged. John leaned back, exhaled. Step 1. He murmured. Next morning, John courthouse counter, clerk, polite smile. Help you? File for divorce, he said, sliding stack of forms. She thumbed paperwork, nodding. Everything in order. Grounds, assets, custody. Absolutely sure? Yes, John said, steady voice. Clerk stamped papers. She'll be served in a few days. John leaned in. Make sure she gets to them at home. No room for misunderstanding. Back at apartment, John moved like ghost, gathering last belongings. Suitcase open, bed, half-filled essentials. Packed deliberately, leaving nothing of value. Zipped it shut. Final look bedroom. Dreamed, planned, loved. Now, just another room, eager to leave. Photograph dresser caught his eye. Sarah's radiant smile clung to him, warmth once irreplaceable. Fleeting moment, emotion surfaced. Sorrow? Regret? Then, memory of her cutting words to Mike pierced through. Loser. She'd scoffed, disdain. Reaching out, held picture briefly, weight of memories. Then, decisive motion, snapped it in half, tossed fragments, trash. Noon, John kitchen table, pen poised, stark blank sheet. What to say to someone who shattered everything sacred? Long pause, pen moved. Each stroke deliberate, handwriting firm. You built your lives on lies, now watch them crumble. Folded note carefully, slid envelope, wrote Sarah in bold, uncompromising letters. 2 days later, Sarah kitchen, pouring coffee, favorite mug. Doorbell chimed. "Can you grab that?" she called to Mike, sprawled couch. "Yeah, sure," he replied, setting down drink. Moments later, returned, perplexed look. "What is it?" Sarah asked, papers in his hand. "Someone served you," Mike said, handing stack. Sarah frowned, setting coffee aside, scanned pages, face blanched. "Divorce papers," she whispered, disbelief clinging to voice. "What?" Mike straightened, alert. Sarah let papers slip, counter, grabbed phone, dialed John's number. Voicemail. Redialed, frantic. "What is this? He didn't even talk to me, just filed," she exclaimed, pacing kitchen. Mike picked up papers, skimmed. "Looks like he's selling the apartment too." "What?" Sarah froze, breath catching. Mike pointed section documents. "Right here. Liquidating everything." Her voice trembled. Panic. "He can't do that, can he?" Mike shrugged. Before he could respond, Sarah's eyes locked envelope, counter. "What's that?" he asked. Without answering, Sarah tore it open, unfolded note. Eyes scanned words, hands began to tremble. "You built your lives on lies. Now watch them crumble." Mike's voice broke silence. "What does it say?" he asked cautiously. Wordlessly, she handed him note. Mike read, jaw tightening, understanding dawned. "He knows," he said evenly. Sarah sank into chair, burying face in hands. "This isn't happening. He can't just leave." Mike leaned counter, arms crossed. "Looks like he already did." Far away, dim hotel room, Manhattan, John's phone buzzed incessantly. Sarah's name flashed, again, glanced at it, didn't answer. Powered phone off, set it aside. Looking out window, darkened horizon. Surprising lightness settled in his chest. First time in years. Felt free. Years later, John's straightened tie, mirror spacious office. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, vibrant cityscape beyond. Stark contrast small-town life left behind. Eyes flicked polished nameplate, desk. John Scott, founder and CEO. Faint smirk. "Not bad for a loser," he murmured. Path to this moment, grueling. Early months, emotional upheaval, raw self-discovery. Therapy sessions, confronted depth of betrayal, pain buried. Dr. Evans, question lingered. "You're fixated on what you lost," she observed. "But have you considered what you've gained?" John scoffed bitterly. "Gained? I lost my wife, best friend, family, everything I thought mattered." Her calm gaze unwavering. "You've gained your freedom, escaped the lies, chance to build something authentic." Her words resonated deeply, slowly reshaping perspective. Quiet mantra. John left upstate behind. Fresh start, bustling city. Funds withdrawn before leaving. Launched marketing firm. Against odds, thrived, blossoming into enterprise. High-profile clients, accolades. Healing extended beyond work. 2 years therapy, Dr. Evans, dating again. "Consider opening yourself to new relationships?" she asked gently. "Not ready," John replied, shaking head. "Might surprise yourself," she said, knowing smile. Took time, John ventured new connections. No love, discovered relationships built on respect, genuine care. Unattainable before. While John's life ascended, Sarah and Mike spiraled. Afternoon, email old acquaintance, upstate. Subject: You won't believe this. Intrigued, opened it. Link, local news article. Mike's business imploded, fraud allegations, drowning in debt. John leaned back, chair, reading with quiet satisfaction. Karma, he muttered. Acquaintance shared later, Sarah scraping by, menial job, barely making rent. Pristine reputation obliterated after John's departure. Town shunned her. Fleeting pang pity, quickly eclipsed by memory of betrayal. Evening. John closed laptop, gazed city lights, high-rise apartment. Deep peace, replaced bitterness. Quiet smile, raised glass, glittering skyline. You built this, he said to himself, and no one can take it away. John stepped out of sleek black car, footsteps echoing sharply on pavement. Town, frozen in time, unchanged. But John, different man now. No resemblance to person who left 6 years earlier. Tailored suit, armor, gold watch, glinted sun, composed power, commanded attention. Walked towards diner, Main Street, epicenter local gossip. Stepped inside, conversations hushed, ripple recognition. Curious whispers. Is that John Scott? Where's he been? John ignored murmuring, walked counter, measured grace. Sandy, waitress, froze, eyes landed on him. John? She said, voice astonishment. It's been a while, Sandy, he replied, polite, distant smile. Black coffee, please. Her hands quivered, filled cup. We all thought we'd never see you again. You've changed. Faint nod, smile vanished. 6 years has a way of doing that. Coffee, John claimed seat window, calm, unbothered. Scrolled phone, diner buzzed speculation, sudden return. News spread, wildfire, texts, calls carried story. Everyone, including Sarah and Mike. Sarah apartment, phone vibrated, message, old friend. John's back. Diner. Looks different. See this. Breath caught, unease tightening chest. John? She whispered aloud, name ghost on lips. Other room, Mike's voice. What's wrong? Sarah didn't answer, grabbed purse, rushed out, ignoring puzzled questions. Meanwhile, Mike's phone pinged, message. John Scott is back. Can't believe he'd show his face. Mike froze, dread coiled stomach. Mind reeled back, bitter memory, letter scrawled in fury. Now watch them collapse. Muttering, Mike grabbed keys. This can't end well. By time Sarah arrived diner, John already left. Presence lingered, low hum whispered conversations, bits gossip swirled. Did you see that car? What do you think he's here for? Sarah's hands trembled, hurried back out. Returned home, Mike pacing living room, tension-etched face. John's back, she said softly. I know, Mike replied, unease. But why now? John already had answer. Over months, meticulously uncovered every secret Sarah and Mike buried. Private investigators, old connections, assembled damning dossier. Collapse Mike's business, Sarah's stagnant career, painful truth betrayal. A lone hotel room, wrote anonymous letter, local paper. Outlining misdeeds, undeniable evidence, photos, documents, DNA tests, Sealed envelope, finality. Let the games begin. Reunion. John orchestrated, days later, parents' house. Mother eagerly accepted call, thrilled reconnect estranged son. But Sarah and Mike arrived, on edge. Rumors John's motives gnawing. Dining table, feast, atmosphere, heavy unease. John head table, calm demeanor, simmering intensity. Sarah avoided gaze, hands clasped tightly. Mike fidgeted nervously, barely eating. John's father tried break tension, forced cheer. "Good to have you back, son. You've done incredibly well. That business, remarkable." John smiled faintly, didn't reach eyes. "Starting over can be liberating." Mike cleared throat, awkwardly. "So, what brings you back?" Setting down drink, John leaned forward, gaze icy. "Closure," he said plainly. Word froze room. Mother's shaky laugh. "Closure? Sounds serious." "It is," John replied, sharp tone. Reaching thick folder, placed table, deliberate thud. Thunderclap, tense silence. "What's that?" Mike asked cautiously, tight voice. "Evidence," John said coldly. "Evidence of what you've all done to me." Mother's face drained color. "John, please, what are you talking about?" Without word, John opened folder, slid contents across table. Photos, financial records, DNA results spilled out. Each piece, dagger truth. Holding up document, John declared. "This proves the children I raised aren't mine. They're yours, Mike." Sarah gasped, face crumbling, tears welled up. "John, let me explain." "Don't!" he snapped, silencing her. Attention shifted Mike, voice low, venomous. "You were my best friend, Mike. You betrayed me for nearly 2 decades. Turning to parents, glare unforgiving. "And you knew truth all along. Let me live a lie." John's father lowered head, shame. Mother stammered. "We thought it was for the best. We didn't want to hurt you." "For the best?" John's voice cracked fury. "For who? Certainly not me." Room dissolved, suffocating silence. John's revelations hung air, irrevocable reckoning. Shattered, fragile facade family, no going back. Older man turned Sarah, eyes unspoken questions. Her lip quivered, tears pooling, struggled form words. "It's not that simple," she finally murmured. John's voice sliced tense air, like blade. "No, Sarah, it is simple. Mike is your real father. I was just the idiot who raised you." Room exploded chaos. Teenager hurled frantic, confused questions, Sarah and Mike. John's parents tried unsuccessfully calm everyone. Uproar, John's voice rang out, commanding, furious. "Enough!" Room fell silent. Weight, authority. He stood, glare cold, unwavering. "You've all lied to me for years," he said, words measured, trembling fury. "But lies end now. Everyone in this town going to hear the truth." Sarah crumpled floor, sobbing. "John, don't! Please! I know I made mistakes, but I loved you." "Loved me?" John's laugh, sharp, bitter. "No, Sarah. You loved the life I gave you, not me." Mike stepped forward, hands raised, gesture calm, John. "That's enough," he said softly. John's glare cutting. "Don't you dare tell me when enough is enough. You've already destroyed my life. Now you'll face consequences." Turned towards parents, voice thick disdain. "You stood by, defended lies,
instead of protecting your own son. Don't think for a second I'll ever forgive you." Without another word, John strode out, leaving shattered family, home echoing heartbreak, unmistakable weight regret. Knock on John's office door, timid, pleading. Didn't look up from laptop. Receptionist warned him. "They're here again," she'd said, hushed voice. "Let them wait," John replied icily. Now, hour later, gestured assistant. "Let them in."
Sarah entered first. Appearance, shadow-polished image. Hair disheveled, clothes hanging loosely, thin frame. Mike followed. Usual confidence reduced, defeated slump. John didn't bother stand. Leaned back chair, face unreadable mask. Sarah's voice trembled, broke silence. "John, we need to talk." He repeated her words, tone sharp, mocking. "Talk? What on earth could you possibly have left to say?" Mike stepped forward, hands outstretched, gesture surrender. "Look, we know we messed up, but this has gone too far. You've destroyed everything." John arched eyebrow, voice low, cutting. "Destroyed everything? That's rich coming from you. Exactly what I thought 6 years ago, when I found out 2 of you tearing my life apart, 17 years. Sarah broke into sobs. "John, please, I'm begging you. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. But the kids, they're suffering. They don't understand why this is happening." John's jaw tightened, voice venomous. "Don't you dare bring kids into this. You lied to me about them, entire lives, used me as backup plan while you played happy family with him behind my back. And now you want to talk about suffering?" Mike's voice cracked, tried again. "John, we're ruined. I've lost everything. My business, reputation. People won't even look at me. You've made your point. Can't we just move on?" John stood abruptly, chair scraping loudly, stepped around desk, presence looming over them. "Move on?" he repeated, voice deadly whisper. "You mocked me 17 years, called me clueless, built lives on my trust, my money, my kindness, and now you want mercy?" Sarah dropped to knees, clutching hand. "I was wrong," she sobbed. "I was selfish, blind, and I've lost everything. Please, John, stop. We can't handle this anymore." John wrenched hand free, gaze ice cold. "You didn't think about what I could handle when you were sneaking around with him," he said. "You didn't care what I was losing when you laughed behind my back. So no, Sarah, I won't stop." Mike's frustration boiled over. "This is pure vindictiveness. You're punishing us for a mistake." John's eyes burned fury. "A mistake? 17 years isn't a mistake, Mike. It's a choice. Choice you made every day while I trusted you. Don't you dare lecture me about punishment. You've barely begun to pay for what you've done." Room, heavy silence. John's voice softened, anger palpable. "You want forgiveness?" he asked, words like steel. "Earn it, but don't expect it. Not now. Maybe not ever." Without backward glance, John left room. Sarah sobbing at feet, Mike staring blankly wall. John sat quietly, small cafe, hands wrapped steaming coffee cup. Few places peace, world, and complications far away. Hadn't planned meet anyone that day, least of all someone like Nora. She entered cafe, juggling books, coffee slip. Books toppled from arms, scattering everywhere. Without thinking, John rose help. "Thanks," she said, brushing hair face. "Really need stop pretending I can carry library everywhere." John handed last book, lips quirking faint smile.
Sometimes little extra weight is worth it. She laughed softly. True, though arms might disagree. Could have parted ways then. Strangers, fleeting interaction. But something Nora made John linger. Wasn't trying impress anyone, openness rare, disarming. Name called for order, hesitated, turned back to him. If you're not in hurry, she said, shy smile. Want to join me? Could use distraction from all this reading. John raised eyebrow, amused. You're inviting stranger help you procrastinate? Exactly, she replied, grin wide, genuine. First time years, John found himself laughing. Our conversation ebbed, flowed naturally. Profound topics, light-hearted exchanges. Nora, freelance editor, passionate books, storytelling. Aura quiet confidence. Reserved enthusiasm certain subjects lit up expression. Spark didn't go unnoticed, John. And you? She asked, tilting head. See right through him. You have calm exterior, but there's weight about you, like you've carried more than fair share burdens. John paused, caught off guard, intuition. Is it that obvious? He replied, faint smile. Not really, she said, sipping coffee. Just good reading people, but you don't have share anything unless you want to. First time years, John felt rare ease. Didn't share every detail, offered glimpses story. Betrayal, recovery, rebuilding. Nora listened, quiet intensity. Never interrupting, prying. You've been through a storm, she said softly, tone warm. And yet, you've made it through. That's something be proud of. Her words, John found new, unfamiliar feeling. Understood, without judgment. Weeks, meetings regular part life. Quick coffee breaks, evolved dinners. Late-night walks, quiet streets. Nora never pressured him, John began. Feel unexpected desire open up more. One evening, walking riverbank, John stopped, turned to her. You know, he said, voice steady, vulnerable. I never thought I'd trust anyone again. But you've shown me. Not everyone out to hurt me. She met gaze, smile steady, reassuring. And you've shown me, possible rebuild, no matter hard past been. Not about where you've been, it's about where you choose to go. Moment, John realized wasn't just moving forward. Finally releasing pain carried so long. Years bitterness, self-doubt melted, leaving freedom. Hadn't felt years. 6 years earlier, John faced devastating lies upended life. Time since, Sarah and Mike watched lives fall apart. Once wrapped privilege, Sarah struggled find stable work. Scandal, constantly battling make ends meet. Reputation, once pristine, now followed like dark shadow. Whispers accompanied everywhere. Community, once welcomed her, now saw her warning. Broken trust. Mike's fall equally steep. Rising star business world, company collapsed. Weight dishonesty. Reputation ruins. Former allies kept distance. Every new venture failed. Turned alcohol solace, sinking further despair. Children, now teenagers, bore scars fractured home, loss illusions. John, however, forged new path. Life-grounded truth, meaningful connections. Nora, steadfast partner. Together, embraced new experiences. Traveling, hobbies, joy, fulfillment. Quiet Sunday afternoon, relaxed balcony, John's expression distant. Still think about it? Nora asked gently, sensing mood shift.
Sometimes, he admitted, voice reflective. Hard not to, but I've learned so much about trust, myself. She reached hand, touch grounding him. You've become stronger because of it. That's what matters. He nodded, appreciating constant support. Time I thought I'd never move past it. Now feels like just one chapter, much larger story. Anniversary parents passing, John visited graves, first-time years. Standing tombstones, rush memories. Love they given him, sacrifices made. Though gone, influence remained, shaping person become. Kneeling down, placed single white flower grave. I don't know if you ever truly understood me, he murmured, voice steady, soft. But I've come understand myself. I've learned trust again. Others, and myself. And I'm free now. I've let it all go. Hand rested gently shoulder, looked up, Nora standing beside him, presence steady comfort. I'm proud of you, she said warmly, voice quiet conviction. John smiled, feeling lightness hadn't known years. Past always remain, no longer held him captive. Final look. Parents' graves, turned toward Nora. Let's go home, he said. Hand in hand, walked away, leaving behind weight-old wounds. John hadn't just overcome Sarah and Mike. Conquered inner struggles consumed him. At last, found peace. And with it, deep enduring happiness.